common theme you'll come to realize for sure is that the power, the potential of I would say an underrepresented person can be great. However, it is also at the same time quite limited in the way that this potential can be exercised, and because of that, it almost feels like there is no purpose, there is no mission, there is no objective towards climbing as the economy, I would say, is in this very peculiar state of seeking direction. And part of seeking a new foundation, given the circumstances that I would say press the people on a daily, it certainly has to come with the question of finally acknowledging that the underrepresented people need a role, an identity, something of their own to collect and to obtain as capital. And you will find that every group that has obtained power has these qualities, except for underrepresented people. And this is something that I would say is a problem that needs to be identified, and is the solution to proposing a strategy is within nobody else's role except for the particular people who I reference as the colored people. And the main underlying issue is the fact that as present circumstances stand, underrepresented people are in a society where there is practically zero support for any circumstances, problems, or challenges that may be, as a matter of fact, integral to those people, or perhaps their collective or individuals. As we know, within the Western world, there has been no initiative or even a degree or a sense of curiosity to actually assess these problems without generalizing the issues under common beliefs, under opinions, under perspectives, which none in the reality or the facts of the nature can have enough sufficient evidence to draw conclusions from, and that's the truth. It's all feeling based. It's all thought based. Where I feel like the role of people who are underrepresented is to actually work together to draw effective conclusions based on education, based on data, based on facts, and rather opposed to drawing these conclusions based on a systematic procedure that clearly has not had any time to investigate or to research or to gain the voice or the perspective of people who are underrepresented and perhaps need to climb as far as governing families and homes and perhaps even communities for their own are concerned. And this is what I feel the Western world needs to know, that contrary to what you see on TV, contrary to what you see on the news, on sports, or even on your movies, you need to understand that this small represented group of colored people who have, keep in mind, been selected by white power to represent these underrepresented people on the basis of white scripts and under white authority. Whereas the reality of the situation is, if you ever want to understand the issues that a group of people face, you need to turn away from these resources, and you should indeed go to the communities where these people reside in general, and you will definitely find that once you hear their voice, once you hear their struggles and some of the problems within those communities that are never spoken about within the news, within the broadcasts, or outside of any racial barrier that I would say has been indoctrinated by I would say the American or the westernized or the European cultures, you will find that these groups, matter of fact, do not live anything like you see on the press. And the truth is, just like anybody else, there are underrepresented people who are raising families of their own, who have children of their own, who would like to see their children enrolled in education, but due to barriers related to particularly racism, particularly just even social barriers, and the ability to actually develop articulate thoughts and the tools necessary to reach these educational levels, there is an issue that you will see is a large gap in intelligence and in potential between the white structure, who have had a almost linear path through the educational system, and then the colored structure where these families are not even able to enroll their children in education simply because these children have not been equipped with the necessary tools or the skill set in order to thrive in these educational resources. And you may argue that for the small percentage of colored people who are in education, that this should be sufficient enough. And the way I respond to that is there is no point you going on a apple tree and picking 2 apples to take to your basket, while let's say there are 50 other apples that remain on that tree and are no longer able, as far as white America is concerned, to contribute to the cause. So while the remaining masses still remain in a global and a state of discovery, you will find that the role is one where initiative needs to be taken forward, and that initiative means breaking out of the cycles of anything that the media has pressed, or anything that the society has indoctrinated to us about us, despite not knowing us, or not knowing where we come from, or not knowing any of the present dynamics that we face within our economies, our communities, or so on and so on. And just as we will be equipped to solve these issues, as these are our issues to solve, you will definitely find that in solving these issues. Perhaps that there can be a general sense of support, which can be issued simply by opening a new lens and a new perspective to the fact that there is a different side of living for colored people, contrary to what has been indoctrinated.